while Vanillaware games are great, one thing that they don't have is sequels. From GrimGrimoire onwards, the only thing we've seen is remasters. Well, I can't complain, as it has made games like Odin Sphere more accessible. I would still love to have more games set in the worlds we already love. And if anyone from Atlus or Vanillaware is watching, Steam releases would be great as well. That would really help bring Vanillaware games available to new audiences. While there are certain games where a direct sequel might not make sense because of the story, Dragon's Crown is not one of those games. Since Dragon's Crown presented more of an open world where a lot of stories could take place, it would be fit for a sequel. Dragon's Crown has drawn inspiration from a variety of different sources and therefore would allow Vanillaware to go in a lot of different directions. They could even just do more of the same and it would be great. I understand that Vanillaware is a tiny company with only 29 employees, but if by some miracle it could happen, here are some suggestions I would come with for a possible Dragon's Crown sequel. Number 1. More classes. While the original game offered a fighter, Amazon, dwarf, elf, wizard, and everyone's favorite, the iconic sorceress, there are a lot more classes that would fit in this world. Since the world draws a lot from older sword and sorcery works, an homage to the most famous barbarian of all time, Conan, wouldn't seem out of place. The barbarian was my favorite character from miniature-based dungeon dives like Hero Quest and Warhammer Quest, and I think he would fit the setting just as much as the fighter. Other classes I would like to see include an assassin, a ninja rogue type character, and even a summoner. A summoner or maybe even a necromancer would be great by allowing you to control your own monsters to fight the enemy. It's true that the sorceress has some necromantic abilities, but it would be fun to see what they could do with the new class. Or maybe you could even have variations like a dark elf and high elf type character to go along with the wood elf already there from the original. Number 2. More dungeons. While there were a lot of variety in the dungeons available in the original, the game is just so fun that I would like to see what they could do with other dungeons as well. Something I would like to see is a ghost house type place. While they had the ghost ship cove and Castle of the Dead in the original, a ghost house would fit the game perfectly. It would probably have to be a huge mansion, but you could include a lot of stuff, like a huge garden, an underground cavern, and so on. You could even have a clock tower, like a certain other game series has. I really love the Norse-inspired castles of Ragnarok in Odin Sphere, so something similar would be great in Dragon's Crown as well. Other levels from Odin Sphere, like a snow-covered forest, would also fit the game well. The Lost Woods from the original were great, but some sort of spin on this place would be interesting, like a dead forest with dark elves running around, for example. You could also have an abandoned island town, like the town from Vagrant Story. Then you could have waterways and underground caverns that would fit with some of the locations from the original. A dungeon under a cathedral like in Diablo would also be great. Number 3. Make it seasonal. All this new content would of course take a lot of time and resources to develop, which is why I would hope that something like this could be seasonal. If you could get a base game and then have it expand little by little, then you could probably keep it going longer. Since Dragon's Crown is, or was at least, often played with others online, it would make sense to have it be seasonal as well to give veteran players another reason to go back in. Number 4. Make it more story-based. While a lot of Vanillaware games have had great stories, this wasn't the focus of the original Dragon's Crown. But Vanillaware really nailed the gameplay with the original, so as long as I get more of that, I'll be happy. But this leaves an opening to create a more compelling story. You could even have named characters like in Odin Sphere, while still having their own separate classes. If you had more than one of each class in your party, then they could just get a generic name and a different color scheme. Number 5. Keep the art style. A huge part of the appeal of the original Dragon's Crown, and any Vanillaware game for that matter, is the art style. While some have criticized Dragon's Crown, especially for its exaggerated art style, this fits the world really well. Why do people complain about realism in a game that has you cook dinner out of the dragon you just killed? Number 6. Have cameos from the original. It would be great if you could see what happened to the original cast from the game after the endings. I know it's explained in the endings, but this could be expanded upon. They could be included as quest givers, or characters you could recruit in certain missions as guest characters, for example. Truth to be told, I would be happy with anything Vanillaware puts out. They haven't disappointed me yet, and I don't think they will anytime soon. What would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. For more videos on Dragon's Crown and Vanillaware, check out this playlist.